Good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of RFPSchoolWatch and B2G Victory, we'd like to welcome you to today's seminar, Be Prepared and Win Big. We'll be starting the program in just a few minutes. Thanks so much for being here this afternoon. We will be starting our program, Be Prepared, Win Big, in just a few minutes. We're glad you're here and taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and grow your business through government contracting. The program hosted by B2G Victory and RFPSchoolWatch will begin in just a few minutes. You ready? Welcome to today's seminar hosted by B2G Victory and RFPSchoolWatch. Our topic today is Be Prepared and Win Big. I'm Julie Hartman, co-founder of B2G Victory, as well as joined with Amy Ball, Sales Development Manager with RFPSchoolWatch. And you'll learn more about the team at RFPSchoolWatch and the entire team at B2G Victory here shortly. This partnership with B2G Victory and RFPSchoolWatch is focused on helping you grow your business in the government space. A little bit about B2G Victory is we've been in this space for over 20 years and have secured more than $6.8 billion worth of government contracts for our clients. We have a Victory Cast as well. So if you're into podcasting, you can listen to the many episodes that we have of the B2G Victory Cast on the podcast platform of your choice. And we recently launched our membership portal. And this is anytime access for you as you are responding to bids or researching or growing your business in this space, whether it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon or 2 o'clock on a Saturday, or anytime in between. You can visit the Victory portal and get resources, look at short videos, look up things in the glossary, frequently asked questions, tools, templates, and more. So you can save if you use the code launch to sign up today. Also, we've got our YouTube channel, which all of these videos and all of these sessions that we've been doing with RFPSchoolWatch are posted on a playlist, as well as many other videos and sessions that we've done. The entire B2G Victory team is here on this slide. And today we're joined with co-founder Susan Repka, as well as project manager Emily Kelly, to support us in making this session successful. Emily's going to be dropping links in the chat as we go through today. So please use the chat as an opportunity to network with each other as well. And I'm going to turn it over to Amy with RFPSchoolWatch.
Thanks, Julie. Very happy to be here today. Thanks everyone that's joining us. I wanted to share a few ways today how we empower our clients to win. So we'll move on to that next slide and I'll go through those points. Just wanted to share a few things with you today. So one of the ways that we empower our vendors to win at RFPSchoolWatch is by providing a centralized location for those RFPs. So in our last session, we talked about how there are thousands of agencies across the U.S. to monitor every day. So what we do for our clients, we bring all of those bid opportunities to one location, and you're not having to monitor those individual schools and bid boards and things like that. We monitor all of those for you and distribute those daily. Another way is through our advanced searching and filtering features. So we work really hard to make sure that you're receiving the most relevant opportunities that are specific to your market and to the products and services that you provide, which really helps to weed out those that are not relevant. So yeah, it saves you time and you're able to focus on the ones that matter the most. I need that slide before. There you go. The next point here is just that we provide daily email alerts. So we're monitoring every day. And then whatever we capture today for you, you're going to receive this evening. And we send those email alerts out every day, as well as those bid documents we provide for you. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was the market-specific data insights that our vendors gain access to. And I wanted to spend a minute on that part because it's really important. A lot of times, it's winning the bids are great, but there's so much more value to those RFPs than just winning the bid. And I wanted to talk about a few of those things because when you're receiving those RFPs, even if they're ones that you're not going to respond to, there's so much value in them. One of those is being able to identify market trends in your specific market. That's a very valuable piece of information to take from those RFPs. You're also able to understand potential clients' needs and their pain points and how you as a vendor can use your services and products to address those. The next point that I wanted to mention is how a lot of times these bid docs will include list of participating vendors. This really gives you the ability to identify competitors who are also bidding on that bid. You're able to understand their strengths and weaknesses, and then use that information to plan strategically for your own proposal. The third way is you're able to use the evaluation criteria that's inside of those bids to improve your products and your services, as well as address any gaps that you may have and enhance your value proposition. And finally, the fact that RFPs contain sections where vendors oftentimes provides feedback, and you're able to use that information to kind of gain insight into customer satisfaction in any areas that you have for improvement. But overall, the point of this was just to mention how, RFPs are a valuable source of market intelligence for vendors, and you're able to tailor your offerings, and identify opportunities for your business. So finally, just by utilizing the features that we offer here, our vendors are able to refine their bid strategies, make informed decisions, and submit more competitive proposals. Of course, increasing your rate of success in winning bids. So we offer a BIDS 10 promo code, actually a Web 10 promo code. You can use that here to save 10% on your first year. We'll get your account customized for what you offer and start getting those bids to you every day as they're posted across the nation. So give us a call or reach out if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amy. And Emily just dropped in the chat to receive sample bids from RFPSchoolWatch. Go ahead and use that link and put in your information, and Amy will work with you on your keywords to help you receive some sample bids so you can start working on your strategy and how you can be competitive in this space. And so the two companies work really well together, where RFPSchoolWatch provides you the bids, the opportunities, and then we help educate you on how to respond and how to actually get your proposal library together, how to be competitive in the bid space. And so Susan, the co-founder of B2G Victory, is going to come in and tell you a little bit more about how we're going to structure the rest of our time together.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We're excited to talk about how you can start gathering up information so that you are successful in this space. And yeah. All right. I apologize for that. Technology sometimes. All right. So if you have a question, please drop that question in the Q&A. The chat, watch the chat. There's going to be useful links that Emily will be posting. Questions, Q&A, and the chat is going to be used for information for you. As we're walking through this presentation and we're talking about how to be prepared, make a list of what action items you want to do. This week, the rest of Q2, Q3, Q4. Government contracting is a marathon. It is a long run. It is not a sprint. It's not going to happen overnight. So start putting together a plan that you have the time, you have the ability to work in order to be successful. A recording of today's session will be available on our YouTube. So please understand that that's going to be available. It will probably be next week. So be patient. We'll get that up there as soon as possible. So what are we talking about today? Like, what does that mean? Be prepared. We're going to help you start gathering up some specific documents you're going to need. We're going to talk about what are some common components of a bid. Help you develop a strategy and go over some of the mistakes that can cost you a contract. So as we're going along, those questions are important. Drop those in the Q&A and we'll get those answered either online, or if we have time, we'll answer them during the session. So let's start. Let's talk about the documents. So just about any government contract, especially in the K through 12 space, these are documents that you may need. So you need your financials. They want to make sure that your company has the ability to get this job done. Insurance. They want to make sure that you are covered. A W-9, they can't pay you without all that information. If it's construction, bonding, and could very well need to sharpen that pencil and provide some pricing. So your financials. So what are they looking for? Those financial statements that are normally requested, a profit and loss, a balance sheet, and a statement of cash flow. Again, they want to make sure that you have the cash to perform this contract, because you're probably are not going to get paid in 15 days after you submit your invoice. You're probably not going to get paid in 30 days after you submit your invoice. So you have to have the ability to manage the contract as you are waiting for the payment from the school district. If you're doing subcontracting work, this is you're in the construction industry, you're doing subcontracting work. General contractors, prime contractors in other industry, they're going to need your insurance as well. They want to make sure you're covered so that they're covered. A lot of times, the insurance, you can either, in some instances, you have to have the insurance upon submission of your bid. In some instances, you have to have, while you have to have some insurance, you may not have to have the level that they're requesting in the bid until after you have won the contract. So we encourage you to start looking at some of those RFPs that you're receiving from RFPSchoolWatch. How are they handling those the insurance? Do you need to go out and increase your insurance right now? Or are you going to wait until after you have been awarded? Regardless, you need to make sure that when you are putting your pricing together, that you cover the cost of an increased insurance policy. So insurance, I mean, the entity wants to make sure you're minimizing their risk. So what kind of insurance are they looking for? Well, if you look at your certificate of liability insurance, it's going to list your general liability, your automobile, your umbrella. If you have employees, your workers' comp. If you're in the professional services, your professional liability, or errors and omission. And one thing that we are seeing more and more often is cyber liability. You will host some of their data on your server, on your OneDrive. They want to make sure that that is covered. So again, when we're talking about subcontractors, they're looking for your insurance. What insurance do you have? So your financials, your insurance. So whether it's in the construction industry or you are just as a sub in a professional service type arrangement, they still want to have a copy of your insurance on file. So one of my favorite is you have to have references. Like, ooh. So anytime that you're submitting a bid, whether it's to a school, to a county, to a city, to a state, you're going to have to list references. Those are people that this entity will call and find out about the service that you provide, about the product that you provided. So you need to make sure that those references are current and that, well, they're going to say good things about you. So if some of the school districts require that your reference fill out their reference form, and they must send it back to the school. So as you're looking through these RFPs, are you just uploading a list of references, or does that reference need to go to your client? If that's the case, you need to do this very early in your process. You need to make sure that you have picked up the phone and followed up with an email to that reference to let them know that they need to complete this form and when it is due. If you're just uploading a list of references, you know what? You're still going to email them and you're still going to call them and you're going to let them know that they may get a call from the Atlanta Independent School District. Because what happens if they don't have kids in that school district? They're not going to take a call from the Atlanta Independent School District. So they're going to need to answer the phone. So just let them know ahead of time. If they need to send it back, ask them to let you know as soon as they send it back to the school so that you can make sure that you got that information in before you submit your bid. So make sure that they're filling out all of the information and make sure that they're getting it to the school district on time. The great thing about the school districts now, a lot of them are using contactless submission of bids. So as you start getting information in, go ahead and upload that. If you have questions, you can ask online and get responses online. So take advantage of this IonWave, Bonfire, and poke around in there. See what kind of questions they're asking online that you may not see in the document because they're to direct you to this online platform. When you log in, make sure you download every document that you're required. Make sure that you've got all of the attachments. And when you start uploading, the same thing. Make sure you have all of your attachments. All right, we're about to switch again. So again, drop your questions in the Q&A, and Julie is coming up to talk about some of the components.
So we've got a question in the chat about references that Susan covered, and especially with new companies. And so in a bid, it will indicate, if it's a formal bid, it'll indicate typically the duration of the references, the number of years, and if it needs to be, then you can indicate that these are personal references with the previous company, because like you asked in the chat, if you're new to this space, how do you leverage your references? So common components that you're going to also need when you're responding that we're going to talk about, and when you're putting together your proposal library, are your company qualifications, which is also known as your firm profile, team and resumes, past performance, safety, project management, or also known as project approach, and technology. And Susan and I are going to follow our cadence of alternating back and forth as we go through these common components. So making sure in your proposal response that you're including information about your company profile. And this is not, the big long list of everything that your company has done. And here you can see that they're asking specifically for the vendor document. So this is a formal separate page that this school district is specifically asking for you to respond in your response, right? And so they want it uploaded each and separately. So you will need to have these documents. So in the proposal response, when you're going to upload your information for that requirement, they want a company profile. And this is an overview of your experience. And I can't stress that enough. When you are responding to any opportunity, really focus on being concise and compelling. You are not going to win a bid depending on the number of pages that you submit. Think about it. If you were the evaluator on the other side and 50 people responded and there were 100 pages each, like that's just an insane amount of information to read. So make it easier for the evaluator to quickly award you the information on the contract. So here we've got this by the numbers. You can see that these are the school districts that they've done in K through 12 in the public space, in the private space, and higher education. So if you're new to one type of space, either you've been successful in higher ed and now you're going through to K through 12, or you've been successful in K through 12 and you're shifting to higher ed, make sure that you can show ways to leverage that information. Also, here's an example of being, concise and compelling with the slide. And don't forget to let the evaluators know that you are the best team for the project. If it is inferred that you have experience, or you are asking them to assume, or that you're alluding to something, then they're tracking fast. And if it is not there in literally black and white of why they should choose you, then they're going to choose your competitor. All righty. So do we have some other questions in the chat? I don't see any questions in the Q&A. So Susan's going to come and talk about the project team. And this is super important that you make sure to communicate who the project team is in your response.
All right, we're going to talk about the people that will be working on the project. So obviously, it's not going to be everybody in your company, unless you're a very small company. So some of us, pretty much all of us, but these are the individuals that will be responsible for getting this contract done. So it starts out with an org chart. Who is the project manager? Who's going to be that single point of contact for the government entity? Who are the rest of the team for the prime? And then are there any outside subcontractors that will be used? So the government entity, the school district, needs to know all of the individuals that will be working on their project and what their role is. So that's just an org chart is just an overview of the team. But let's talk a little bit about how we do the individuals on the team. All right, so hello. I'm going to introduce you to my friend. His name is Joe. And Joe does a lot of work in the K through 12 space, as well as in other spaces. So this is Joe in the K through 12 space. As you can see, we outlined some of these schools that he's worked on. We have his areas of expertise. And off to the side, we have the information about Joe. His professional engineer license, his industry involvement. So when we're working on a project with Joe, we want to make sure that we are addressing the scope of work. So the projects that we've listed are those that are similar to the project that they're responding to. Now we also have road construction Joe, road design. All right, so for this particular project, we listed his TxDOT pre-certifications because it was roads. And then the RFQ actually requested that we have some descriptions of these projects on his resume. Same Joe, same headshot, different information because it matches the scope of work on the RFQ. So now we have sidewalk Joe. Let's see where we're going is that this is not a resume like you're applying for to be an employee for this school district. It is a resume that showcases the work that you've done that is similar to the scope of work. All right, any questions? And Julie's going to talk about past performance.
Yeah, Dawn and Lori, I want to make sure that we cover kind of the references section. So I want to make sure to encourage you to reach out to your references before you list them. Make sure that they are allowed to respond as a reference. Make sure that you're letting them know that these specific agencies or people will be reaching out to them. Unfortunately, and I can even sense the frustration in y'all's comments and the questions and answers. And if that reference doesn't reply or respond, it is unfortunate. And I know some agencies that if the references don't respond, they wouldn't even give you any points because they weren't able to connect or contact anyone. And so that's kind of our recommendation. Maybe also another way, if the specific reference isn't responding, maybe it's a project manager or the director or the contact. I would reach out to the procurement director of the specific school or school district, or maybe the principal or vice principal, and let them know that you are trying to get a reference and see if they'll be able to help you out there. Another question, is it too late to start looking at potential business for the 2023-24 school year? And no, it is not at all. Yeah, all year you can join co-ops, you can become an approved vendor list and do informal purchases. And we talked about that last month. If you want to listen to the video as well, that's up on the RFPSchoolWatch playlist on our YouTube channel that Emily will drop in the chat. And so here, paralleling to Lori's question in the Q&A regarding write-ups. So if the agency isn't going to provide a write-up, which typically we haven't seen, that you as the company who performed the work are doing the write-ups. And so here's some examples of some past performance pages. And they can be, very elaborate, like the one on the left, or for example, a catering company who does work with K-12 schools as well as higher education. Here's her write-ups, which are just, short and sweet and to the point. And then, here's another example of a write-up as well with pictures and looking at the relevant work summary. So you want to make sure that you are looking at what project or past performance that you're submitting and how is that similar to the work that's being done. As you're developing your bid library so you can quickly respond to bids, we have in the last couple of years seeing more and more people in the past performance area they're asking for what are some challenges, solutions, or innovations that you did on that specific project. We're also seeing, were there any cost savings or lessons learned that they're asking for you to make sure to address as you're responding to the bid. So we wanted to make sure to show you examples of that. Here's a TxDOT example where we felt it was important to put the context of the project there. And then we included call outs here because this is on an 11x17 paper and you weren't able to read all of the itty bitty labels on the floor plan. We put it right there that the second floor includes and the ground floor includes very specific items that were relevant to that project that they were proposing. So really take the time to look to see how your past projects are similar to the current and proposed project that you are putting forward. Some additional information and content that you might want to see in your proposal library, because this is all about how to win big and how to respond faster. If you're in construction or anything construction related, safety is a big thing. So they might ask you for an EMR letter or at least your safety rating. We wanted to show you real examples. And I think that was a comment or a question in the chat. Can you show me some examples? These are actual examples from actual submissions that we have done, that we have our clients' permission to use and share from different proposals. So here's a QA/QC checklist. Here's an example of proposal success. If what you do lends itself to some technology, right? Or there is a technology component to what you use, or if that's how you approach a project or how you save time and money, make sure to address that in your proposal. And there's a question in the chat right now. Is this similar to a capability statement? So this is, you want to take into consideration your capability statement on steroids. And so your capability statement is a one-pager. These are all the different pages and components that you'll be needing once you start responding to bids. And if you are wondering what are some other components, go ahead and request some sample bids from Amy with RFPSchoolWatch. Susan's going to come and talk about some strategy that you can use as you're developing your proposals from various sample bids.
All right, so if you are currently a client of RFPSchoolWatch, you're probably wondering, what are you going to do with all of these bids that are coming into your inbox if they're not the best fit? Well, research, read, highlight, start taking this information and developing a library. And you've heard us say that a couple of times today. So keep in mind that when a bid hits the street, you have anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to respond. The more information you have pulled together, the faster you can respond. So take the time, in the evenings when you have nothing better to do, to read these RFPs, RFQs, and IFBs. So sample bids. If you're not a client of RFPSchoolWatch, Emily dropped a link in the chat on how you can get some sample bids. Go ahead and get those and start looking. If you already know which school district you want to do business with, go look on their website, sign up on their registration on their Bonfire or the Ion Wave or whatever process they use, and look at open bids, look at closed bids, find out what they're buying and what they're looking for. So Emily's going to go ahead and drop that, if she hadn't already, drop that link back into the chat of how you can find some sample bids from RFPSchoolWatch. All right. So remember, you are looking, so you log into Bonfire for that school district. You're going to see available bids. You'll see closed bids. If you have responded or have started responding, it's going to be right there where you can click on it and finish that response. And then you'll see if you've been awarded anything. So as I stated earlier, school districts are using these online platforms. The two most popular are Bonfire and IonWave. So I'm going to give you a little tidbit of information that we had to learn the hard way with these. Bonfire, you're going to use the same username and password for every school district that uses Bonfire. So think of it as one key that opens multiple doors. Great thing about that is your information pulls in to that. So even if you have 10 different potential school districts that you want to go to do work with, if they all use Bonfire, you will have to log in, open the door to that procurement site, put in your information, and update anything that needs to. IonWave, on the other hand, you will need to create a separate username and password for each registration of IonWave. So you have 10 doors you want to go through, you're going to need 10 separate keys. So you'll need to keep track of which one goes where. So that's just, again, something that we learned as we're registering on how to make it easier. So one of the things you want to look at when you're on that Bonfire or IonWave or website is, are there any bids with your NIGP codes out there? Because if so, you're probably in the code of silence or the blackout period. Now, we often in our world hear it as the cone of silence. And of course, we hear that from me because that's how I say it. But it is the code of silence, which means you have to follow the directions to ask any questions. You can't just reach out to the buyers at that point. So make sure before you're scheduling any calls, trying to follow up with a buyer you've been trying to get hold of, that you every day check before you give them a call, leave them a message, send them an email, that there is no bid for that school district or that government entity with an NIGP code that matches yours. So this is a sample of the Houston Independent School District's code of silence. And once you click on a bid on their IonWave, you have to acknowledge that you are reviewing that bid and that you are now under that code of silence. The last thing you want to do is break that code of silence and ask, oh, you know what? I know a school board member, so I'm going to ask them a question, even though this bid is out there. Don't do that. It is very serious stuff, extremely serious. They take this very, very seriously. So any bid, once you click on that bid, now I'm sure other school districts do this as well, but I know that Houston Independent School District does. Once you open the bid, you have acknowledged, and then even if you're just reading it, you're acknowledging that you are now under the code of silence. So this is some samples of the IonWave. all the bids listed, you're able to go in and read them and get this information, download them. You might want to, a school district near you, you see that they have a bid open, attend a pre-bid meeting. Find out what goes on in during those meetings where they're talking about the bid. Most of them are now virtual. So you can go ahead and listen in, understand this process, especially if you are new to this process. It's a little overwhelming. So use all the resources that you can to develop strategy, to develop pricing, to develop a process that you're going to use going forward. So, and if it's one that matches your NIGP code, it's going to let you know right up there at the top. It's going to give you all of the types. It's going to give you the due dates. You click on there, there's an addendum. That means that they've extended or changed something. So these online systems are so much easier to respond to and get the information. So this request for proposal, whether they wants to know whether you are going to submit, and then any notes that you want to put in there. This will also, when you say that yes, you're going to, your intent is to bid, any amendments will be emailed to you. However, I highly recommend that even if you have clicked yes and you're getting those emails, check on a regular basis in case something came into your inbox and got stuck in the junk folder. So you're going to want to review, log in and look. All right. So again, drop your question. I see some questions going on. And then Julie is going to talk about some common mistakes.
We've been doing this for quite a while. All of us, the entire team at B2G Victory, and we want to make sure that we share with you mistakes that we've learned along the way, as well as mistakes that we see other people doing, because most importantly, we don't want you to make those mistakes, and we don't want you to waste your time, your money, and your efforts on something that's going to cost you the contract. And so the due dates, agencies are very strict on the due dates. And so if a bid is due, for example, on January the 10th at 10 a.m., do not start uploading your information at 9:55. Right? Go ahead, make sure that you can properly log into IonWave or Bonfire, whatever the portal is or platform that you've got to submit, because just like Liz asked the question, in addition to putting it online, do you still have to deliver some copies? And you do, and even Lori chimed in the question and answer as well. And so if you're waiting till 9:55 to log in and see if you've got to hurry up and submit a print copy, then you're going to be non-compliant, right? And make sure that you're checking. So it says here that there are errors. And what's another great thing about these platforms is if you have your forms ready, well, go ahead and upload them, get those ready. So, the night before the bid is due, or if it's due at 10, then, by 8 a.m., you should have everything done and you're able to do an error check. So as you're working through all of these tabs, the questions, the activities, the attachments, the line items, you can go ahead and get gradual progress and work through your proposal, right? So don't wait until the last bid, the last date to submit your bid. And then most importantly, look right there, it says response status not submitted. So you have to click the submit button. You have to click save, and then you will get the notes, your digital signature. So Your bid is not submitted until you hit the submit response. And I can't reiterate that enough. People are like, well, I saved it, but did you actually hit the submit button? Forms, I know it may not make sense on why they need all of these forms. There is a reason and there is a method to their madness. So start your forms early. If you have a question on the forms, ask. Get your forms done and uploaded as soon as you can, right? Make that progress. Eat that frog or that elephant one bite at a time. And so here's an example of all of the different forms that are requested, right? These are the attachments, and each one of these needs to be downloaded and uploaded independently. So when you're filling them out, if you have to sign it and scan it, make sure that they're all saved and scanned independently. And then also you can see here on this example, if it's a PDF, then you're going to upload a PDF. If it's an Excel, keep it in Excel. If it's a Word, there it is right there, the HISD data sharing agreement, keep it in the format that they're asking for. It is so, so important that you follow directions. You can be crazy and creative in different parts of your business. This is not the place, right? So here's another example that we've downloaded all of the forms, and now we're going to keep the files separate, and we're going to upload them exactly how they want them. So there's your proposal response, which needs to have your company profile in there, needs to have the team that Susan talked about. All of that needs to be in one file, uploaded as your response. Then you've got your attachment B, your attachment A, your attachment B, which is your IT requirements and all of that. And so you've got to make sure that you've put time in your schedule and you're not waiting till 9:55 when it's due at 10 that you're going to start to upload these files. Questions. Back to, does this make sense, and is this a good fit for your overall strategy? We've had some quite a few questions around strategy. If there's an opportunity that you're interested in, ask a question. There are no silly questions. And there is a time period, right? And so go ahead and upload your questions to the platform. Sometimes it says email the buyer. Sometimes it says that they want it up on IonWave or Bonfire. Then it's up to you to go back and see what those answers are to those questions. And if one of your questions is, who is the incumbent, or what is the budget? Can I submit as a joint venture as well as a prime? Or can I be on can I be a subcontractor on multiple teams? Now, if they come back and they provide last year's budget and it does not make sense for you to submit for that budget, if you are not going to be profitable doing that work, do not, and we can't stress this or repeat this enough, do not submit the bid. Never do work that you're going to lose money on. All righty. So sharpen your pencil and make sure that that is a good fit for you to grow your business in this space. And just like every one of these seminars that we do with RFPSchoolWatch, we want to make sure to provide value to you. So we'll have the next 10 minutes to have it for open question and answers. If you haven't put your contact information in the chat, please go ahead and do that. And we are fellow small businesses as well, and we value your time. And we want to make sure that you have 2 to 3 takeaways from our session together today that you can take immediate action items on. So if anyone wants to share what their takeaways were from our time together, please put it in the chat, because that might help somebody else think about that idea for their business. Or maybe I already have my list of my takeaway and action items this week and for Q2, but maybe a takeaway or an action item that someone else put in the chat. Oh, wow, I can do that. Can't do it this week, and I surely can't do it in Q2, but I can definitely do it in Q3 or Q4. So if you'd like to share some of the takeaways from our session and our time together, please put those in the chat, and we're going to open it up for additional questions and answers. You're very welcome, Liz. Yes, we really enjoy working with you as well. So maybe one of your action items is to request sample bids from RFPSchoolWatch. So maybe that's something that you want to do this week, or maybe that's something you want to do next week. Another action item that you could do is to go ahead and sign up for the B2G Victory membership portal. We've got a free access, and we've got a free code, or so you've got free access. Then there's an additional code that's launch that saves you over 40%. So it's $500 for your first year for unlimited access to all of these videos, all of other videos, 2-minute videos, 5-minute videos, 10-minute videos that can help you, as well as tools and templates in this space and learn. Somebody asked about the recording. Yes, and thank you, Emily, for putting it in the chat. The recording of today's session will be available on our YouTube channel. We have our channel broken down into a couple different playlists. We have a playlist specifically for the Insights to Success webinar series that we're doing with RFPSchoolWatch. Plus, we have our playlist broken down into federal, local, K through 12 education, as well as little shorts, as well as our entire podcast is also listed as a playlist on our YouTube channel as well. Great question, Liz. Yes, access to the portal. Can we have a staff team member watch too? We made a conscious decision that our portal access is company. So you can share that if you've got 2 people in your company, or 8 people or 10 people in your company that are working on proposals and marketing. We did not want to limit it to just one user. These subscriptions are company-wide. So thank you very much for asking that. And we appreciate your time today. We've got lots more sessions, not only with RFPSchoolWatch. Our next session with RFPSchoolWatch is on June 27th, and that's how to get business from any RFP. Later this week, actually in person, if you're interested in doing business with the Houston Independent School District, that's on May 23rd. May 31st, sorry. On May 31st, May 23rd was last week. Oh, that's today. Wow. It's been a long month. So May 31st, if you're interested in doing business with Houston Community College, we've got a session on June 1st, and then a virtual session with the University of Houston on June 8th. And kind of taking it full circle again, our next session, our next virtual session with RFPSchoolWatch is on June 27th. So we hope that you can join us at any of those sessions as well. We've got some time for a question, maybe a specific question for Amy with RFPSchoolWatch. Does anyone want to raise their hand or open up their microphone or put it in the chat? Rodney Fuller. Emily's going to unmute you or give you permission to unmute so you can go ahead and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Great. My question is about, I'm an out-of-state vendor, I imagine, for a lot of proposals I go after. Are there general requirements for me as a New York City-based vendor to maybe apply for an RFP in another state like Texas, or, I don't know, anywhere else in the US?
Rodney, I'm really glad you asked that question. And we have clients all across the nation doing business with school districts all across the nation. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what, if there are specific states or cities, Rodney, that you want to do work with, when you send for sample bids, you know, make sure to let Amy know that with RFPSchoolWatch, and maybe she can see if she can find you a bid. When you have a strategy session with us, you know, we always recommend starting off with, you know, 5. right? Because then we can do some targeted strategy to those 5 school districts. We can track your progress, and we can, most importantly, celebrate in each other's successes. And so think about your product, think about your service, and then think about the target school district that you want to go after, because it might be easier and better to go after, a smaller school district. Maybe it's a 2A or a 3A, because their sales cycle might be shorter versus going after a big, mega school district like the Houston Independent School District. So it really depends on what your business strategy is and how fast you'd like to scale in this space. Amy, do you want to comment or anything on that? Or elaborate?
Well, I just wanted to add, that we do have clients who are, located in one state and definitely work nationwide. When you register for samples, we're going to customize your account based on whatever your preferences are. And you can really get a good view nationwide of, what opportunities are out there. So we would love to work with you.
And we would like for y'all to attend more and more of our sessions with RFPSchoolWatch and the other government agencies that we do training and programming for as well. So Emily's going to drop in the chat the survey, and we value your feedback. We take it very seriously. If there are specific topics, challenges, or pain points, or something that's just giving you a whole lot of heartburn, please put it in the survey so we can do some programming, create some videos, do an entire session around that. We are here for you. We want to work with other businesses. We want to help everybody be successful. So please complete the survey. We've got a few extra minutes. If someone else would like to raise their hand, we can unmute you and ask you answer your questions that you have. So we've got some action items. Reach out to Amy for samples. Go ahead and sign up for the B2G Victory portal, either as a free member or enter the launch code for $500. Amy with RFPSchoolWatch has the link, and Emily's going to drop that in the chat one last time to go ahead and sign up for sample bids. If you're interested in going ahead and purchasing bid lead generation from RFPSchoolWatch, make sure to enter the code in there. The code is WEB10 to get that discount. And Amy, I'll let you have some additional closing comments.
Yeah, I just wanted to add here with that WEB10 promo code as well. If you have not been with us previously and you've missed any bids over the past 30 days, whenever you activate an account with us, not only are you going to save 10% by using that WEB10 promo, but I like to go in whenever we get a new client and go back the past 30 days. And if there are any open bids in your market at all, I pull those open bids and get those to you right away so that you can kind of take advantage of those as well. So we really, one of the things that I enjoy doing here is doing keyword development for clients. So if you weren't sure what keywords to use to look for relevant bids in your market, that's something that I can assist you with. And I would love to work with you and start getting those open opportunities to you as they're posted. So if you have any questions or just want to talk about our services, feel free to give me a call.
And thank you everyone for taking an hour out of your busy schedule today and learning how you can grow your business and win more bids in government contracting. We hope that we'll see you either in person or online in any of these upcoming educational sessions. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care.